Welcome back to the Twist of Fate podcast, where you can find your inspiration to make your dreams come true.
Woo! I have some crazy stories of some things that have happened.
That was good. I like it.
So while maybe my knees have a little less cartilage than most 32-year-olds, I feel great.
I am a stand-up comic, actress, MC, and Italian.
You know, this is my 9th attempt on business. You just got to keep going, and it'll lead you to your path.
Everybody thinks it's easy and that anybody can do it.
It's Blake Lewis. If you want to catch my full interview, check it out on the Twist of Fate podcast.
Great, I'm Ashton Bray. I'm the performance director at Fantasy and also featured dancer.
I'm Mariah, Nieslanik, a featured dancer as well, and also co-producer of the show Fantasy.
Fantasy performs every night at 10:30 at the Luxor and 2 shows on Sunday, 8 and 10:30.
I went to school for accounting, so I knew I always wanted to pursue business in some capacity. I was very lucky at the time. The company manager of Fantasy wanted to transition out, and I luckily just kind of fell into it and then continued to climb the ladder, as they say, and learn as much from our producer Anita as possible, and I've been very lucky to be doing it for 10 years.
My story is a little different. I always knew I wanted to be a dancer, performer, always. So I'd been in the show for a long time, and because I love the show, I started doing extra things to kind of help out. You know, there's a lot to do. The show runs every single night, so I just was doing things to make sure things didn't fall through the cracks. And one day, our producer, Anita, called me and said, "How do you feel about a more permanent position?" I said, "Oh, for like the next week?" And she's like, "No, forever." And so I kind of fell into it, but I'm finding a lot of joy in managing, in teaching the show, in keeping the show clean, and I love it.
Obviously, you need a background in dance. If you're not a dancer, take as many dance classes as you can. Most of us started dancing when we were 2 or 3. That's not the case for everybody. I mean, you can literally pick up dance at any point, but taking dance class and being able to pick up choreography is going to be the number one thing for any audition that you go to. Every audition is going to have you do some form of choreography, even if it's in acro for cirque or anything.
And take as many different types of dance class as possible, learn from as many different teachers. That way, in an audition process, whatever kind of style teaching or style dancing they throw at you, you can absorb it quickly. You have to be able to learn quickly on your feet. You have to know what your strength is. So obviously physicality, like maybe our show does have a height limit. It was 5'5", and I'm much taller, so we have different things that we're good at, but knowing yourself and being confident in who you are and what you bring to the table will show maybe what direction your dancing should go in.
And also, don't take no for an answer. Don't tell yourself no before you actually, I'm shorter than a lot of shows, and everyone's like, it's 5'8", and we won't even let you audition. And I would wear the tallest heels. I'm 5'6", and I would literally show up, and I was like, I'm gonna let them tell me no. If they see me and I dance and they say you're too short, okay, I'll believe them. But I'm not just going to assume that I'm not right. And I actually got hired for a show that was they were looking for a girl that was 5'9", and they hired me, and they just shortened their line. And I was like, see, I knew I was right.
Yeah, you have to put yourself out there, and you have to not be afraid of no. No just means maybe not now, or maybe not this opportunity, but it doesn't mean that you're not a good performer or not a good dancer. Don't get in your own way.
We're the highest paid. We're the best schedule in town currently, and that's why all of us have stayed so long. And our producer is so amazing. She takes such good care of us, and I think, like you said, you were the new girl for at least 5 years, because nobody left. We all just stayed as, everybody stayed. We were family. I've been there 16 years, and I still can't believe I've been there that long and been that lucky to still be in the show and having a blast every day.
And to that point, when you come in as a new performer, I always say, keep your mouth kind of closed and keep your eyes wide open. Watch what the other ladies are doing. Watch what the most successful ladies are doing and try to emulate that. Of course, find your own style and your own thing, and be polite. I've been in positions where my wardrobe manager actually became my boss. So thank goodness, it's important to be kind just in life, but also self-preservation. You never know who's going to be in charge of you. And it's good to be nice to everybody involved. And if you do have to leave a contract for a reason or if something doesn't work out, leave on good terms. This town is really small. It's always different for us, but I wake up around 10:30. I have dogs and tortoises and fish, and I have all kinds of, I have my little farm. So I love my quiet mornings. We're both part of management, so often we'll have work calls, whether it's a PR call or Luxor corporate call. And then for me personally, I like to do like a morning stretch outside in the sun, get some movement in. I like to read my books between, and then I'll do the chart for the night, which means I will let every dancer know what track she's doing in the show that night. If there's a new track that they need to learn, I'll communicate that and make sure that I send a video and blocking notes. And then I'll often look at the schedule for the week as well to make sure that if there's any new tracks that someone has to do, they can maybe do them 2 days in a row, 3 days in a row, lots of pre-planning. I show up at work around 9 o'clock, eat dinner around 6, so I feel nice and good and full, but not stuffed by the time I perform. Get into the show, check in with wardrobe. If there's any changes, check in with sound, light, crew. Rest of the dancers come around 9 o'clock, 9:30, and we all get ready in the dressing room for go time at 10:30.
How long is hair and makeup?
Some girls are so fast. You wouldn't believe it. Some girls are like 5 minutes. Wham. Now, I like to kind of take my time. I like to chat and drink my water. But like this morning, I could do my full hair and makeup in about 15 minutes.
You do your own hair and makeup?
Yes. Yes. And sometimes we do some fun stuff. You know, we'll do like a purple or a glitter when we're feeling. Every day you got to switch it up. You can be a slightly different person. We put in about, on average, 3 or 4 new numbers a year. Last year, because it was our 25 year, we put in 8 new numbers, which is awesome. We get a lot of repeat fans coming to see the show 10 times, 50 times, 100 times. And so they love to see our new stuff. And then that also allows us to stay current with dance style. We still get nervous.
So nervous. What do you do to like kind of calm your nerves and anxiety?
I think for me, I just sit with it. Like, I just say like, I'm nervous because I care.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to be so nervous that it gets in the way of what you're doing, but it's good to feel that way. It's good to feel present in your body. Like, I get nervous. And I love what I do. I want to be my best.
Yeah, we just put a new number into the show, and I haven't felt like really nervous in the show in a while, but it was literally like 2 or 3 days ago. I was like, I don't think I know this number. And it's just like, just go out there. And luckily the show is 7 days a week. So it's like, you know, if I didn't do it perfect today, I can, you know, have another chance tomorrow and another chance the next day, just to make sure that we're, you know, always, but we're human. We make a mistake, like live theater happens. You know, you get your shoe stuck in your tights and, you know, it's embarrassing, but you know, you play it off and laugh. And the audience, we've fallen a couple times. I'm almost like, I feel like the audience is rooting for you more when you fall. Like they're just like, yeah, you're doing great. You know, pick you up and you're just like, okay. That was embarrassing.
Back out there.
Yeah. But you know, it's part of life. It's you fall down and get back up.
I love being on stage. I feel my best self, and we can actually see pretty much every single person in our audience. They don't think we can because it's pretty dark, but 350 seats and you can see all of them. And I like to stare right into their eyes until they kind of look away, and then you go to the next person. It makes me feel so confident and comfortable in my own skin. I love that.
I just love, from the age of 3, like literally as soon as I was on stage, I'm like, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is my happy place. And there's nowhere else in life you can get that feeling of just that I think that's why I've stayed in this business so long, because I was like, you know, should I transition? Should I do something else? Should I focus on management? But I'm like, as long as I'm allowed and no one pulls me off stage, I want to be on stage. I want to have this feeling, this high empowerment, not high like, you know, high, but like
it's a dopamine.
It is amazing, and to see the audience smile. I mean, that's literally like feeds my soul. And then after the show, we have people come up and just, you know, getting instant gratification and compliments and, oh, you were my favorite. And everybody has a different favorite. So it's like every single night, you know, someone can come up to Ashton and be like, you're my favorite. That doesn't take anything away from me. Like, I'm just like, yeah, she's amazing. I love her. And then, you know, the next person will be like, oh, you know, your smile or you know, whatever. It's just like, wow, this is the most amazing job in the whole wide world.
There's always been a stigma to performers, specifically Las Vegas showgirls, but if you have a really clear vision of your dream, people are always going to talk about what you do. You might as well do what you love, you know. And we're lucky. We've made a career doing what we're doing. We've been able to, buy our houses and live our lives and support ourselves. And I think that that's really admirable. And so if that's your dream, people are going to talk about you anyway. So might as well do what you love.
And it's absolutely not for everybody. If you have an inkling that you might want to do it and you try it and you hate it, there's absolutely no pressure. It's no problem. For me, I didn't want to do. I was like, I'm very shy. From Grand Junction, I don't know what people are going to think about me. And literally, the second I was in a showgirl show, I was like, this is where I'm supposed to be my whole life. Like literally, I felt so free, so like everything was so empowered. Like a woman, I'm like, this is the reason why I was born. I was like literally like this is where I'm supposed to be, and I never looked back. And I'm so thankful. I have the love of my family and support. Like my grandma is part of the singles group, and she's come out and seen the show like 17 times. She's so proud of me, and I'm so lucky to have that support group. Most of us are, and if you're not, obviously everybody is different, but we have such a loving community out here. So even if maybe your parents don't appreciate it or understand it, there's girls out here, and we're a big family. I'll just
Once again, I'm Ashton Bray, featured dancer and performance director at Fantasy.
I'm Mariah Nieslanik, featured dancer and co-producer of the show Fantasy at the Luxor.
And if you'd like to watch this whole episode, you can find us on the Twist of Fate podcast.